What is up, you beautiful, beautiful people? Welcome to another episode of Horror for Dummies presents Raw, Monday Night Raw, which is not on Monday, but anyway. I'm your host, Tim, and with me is the Doctor himself, Dr. Lufenstein.
Oh, crustaceans greetings. When is it now?
It's... What do you mean?
Does Raw exist anymore?
Yeah, what are you talking about?
It's not Monday Night Raw anymore?
Oh no, I'm talking about this show.
Oh, I thought you meant like the actual wrestling got changed. And I'm like, what? So
No,
used to
that will
being
always
Monday
continue
Night
to be
Raw.
Monday Night Raw.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's still. But this show is also called Raw.
It is.
If you are a fan of wrestling, this show's the better of the two because, oh yeah, wrestling's not the best at the moment. Anyway, regardless, we are here. If this is your first time listening to our spin-off show called Raw, this is where we look at the newer films that have just been released. We discuss them in spoiler and spoiler-free discussion and let you know if they're worth watching or if they're top 10 material for the end of the year.
Ooh.
This one is going to be a little different because usually we pick up one movie, we review the shit out of it, and it's closed shop. This time, I'm referring to this episode as, and a little bit of wrestling term, the triple threat match.
Oh, shit.
So, we are reviewing 3 films, and those 3 films are... Luffy, do you want to do the honours?
I don't know, can I? I don't know if I can speak anymore. These 3 films are... I fucking did it. Nailed it. Fear of Rain, Shook, and The Reckoning. All from 2021.
Yeah. All have come out recently. A little bit different with this episode. Usually we do spoiler-free and spoiler-filled discussion. On this episode, we will not be delving into spoiler discussion because it's going to be too tricky to do that. So we're just going to review these in spoiler-free talk. So if you haven't seen any of them, fear not. We are not going to spoil much of anything.
Well, we're going to try our best not to spoil anything.
Yeah, we apologise if there's a slip-up or two, but yeah, we're going to keep it to a very minimum.
Hey, why don't we spoil other movies during this?
Okay.
So they just don't know.
The shark in Jaws blows up at the end.
Oh, shit. Snape kills Dumbledore. It's definitely one.
Alright, stop it, because some people actually haven't seen these movies, so...
You haven't seen Harry Potter?
Bruce Willis is dead at the end of Sixth Sense.
I'm telling Joel.
Shocking. I shouldn't have said that, because I thought that everyone knew that twist, and it came out that my own wife didn't even know that movie ending, and yeah. Anyway. Yeah, so welcome to Raw. We're going to be talking about 3 films. We're going to start it off with one that hasn't premiered yet in Australia, but it is out now in the US of A. That is called Fear of Rain. So why don't we jump in, listen to the trailer,
all the way to America, went to the movies, came back, checked it out.
We went all that way just to check out this movie.
That's it.
Was the trip worth it? You'll find out in a second.
Are you okay?
Mm-hmm.
She said she was feeling better.
We see that regularly with schizophrenia, but it can't be cured.
Hanging in there.
Honey, your father's gonna take the door off the hinges if you keep locking it.
Do something. It's not real. Did you hear that? There was a girl next door screaming for help.
Rain, there's nobody out here.
There's a little girl in your attic. I saw her.
There's no one up there.
She's lying.
You're telling me that your neighbor kidnapped a little girl and has her chained in her attic, right? Do you
I
realize
just
how
need
that
you to
sounds?
trust me.
I do. All right.
There's no one up there. Your mind is just playing tricks on you. Please stay away from that house.
This is a serious accusation, one that'll likely have equally serious consequences.
What the hell, man? When you said she works Monday through Friday, it would have been helpful to mention it was at her school.
Get it together. She's not real.
There's no one up there. Your mind is just playing tricks on you. Your mind is just playing tricks on you.
If you go over there, they will take you away from us.
I don't care. What if it was me? I'm not just gonna sit here. No way!
Your mind is just playing tricks on you.
Fear of Rain from 2021. This one has a runtime of 1 hour and 49 minutes and is a 5.9 out of 10 on IMDb. This one, as I said before, is out at the moment in USA, whatever. It premieres on April 7th in Australia. Don't know where. Yeah.
I mean, we've had this rant before, but basically, why are they different? Rah, rah, rah. Mm-hmm. It is pointless. It is stupid. We are fucking like global culture, movies-wise, especially just in the West in general. So maybe release them all at once where we can all participate in the Discord, and you can like encourage us to, because now I'm not going to pay money for this movie, whereas if it was released, I would have. So fuck you.
What are the chances that this movie goes to cinemas here in Australia?
Maybe just because they can. If they can be fucked getting it out, like if they can be fucked doing it.
I think there's more chance of this one going to cinemas than the other two we're going to talk about.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because of the names incorporated in this film.
Yeah, true.
Still, I don't think it's going to be a film that many people will go to just because of the story, the premise of it. Yeah. I don't think it really attracts that many people. It's not like, obviously, a Marvel movie or anything like that.
No.
So, in saying that, I think it'd be more likely that this will be released on VOD. So, why can't they just drop it everywhere on VOD? I was reading an article, and we're going back straight into the rant, and I apologise, but I was reading an article the other day of why Australia gets their films released later. And
because of the liberal bloody government, that's why. No, not really.
Well, there's that, but it's also the fact that we have access to these movies, but they hold them back due to like red carpet events and stuff like that.
Oh,
which,
yeah,
I mean, it makes sense. Enough.
All those things that are totally happening right now.
Exactly. Yeah, I know. Right now, it's stupid, but I understand when it was a thing. It kind of makes sense. It's all money related. That's all it is.
But I genuinely...
And poor Australia suffers because...
I maybe for those big budget movies, it would be related, but like for smaller movies like this, they don't like genre pieces and shit. They don't really... No one cares about the... I'm not going to a fucking movie because I saw it on fucking whatever the fuck that Channel 7 show is with Koshi and shit. I don't watch the Sunrise. You know? Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not watching it because Harry Connick Jr. popped up on fucking Sunrise. And I'm like, I'll go see that. We're fucking dialed in, man. Like, and probably most people that are going to watch this movie are. So, I don't know. It's stupid. That's what.
I mean, all in all, it's like the best streaming services are the best thing to happen to Australia.
Yeah. Look, I think
release dates regard.
I think back in the day, they tested it. They're like, okay, when we shop it around like this, we make more money. So we'll stick to doing that. And then they've just stuck to doing that, even though things have changed.
Yeah.
I really feel like now, like, Mulan and shit made fuck tons of money, and like Soul and shit like that, by just releasing it day off. like just VOD.
Yeah.
You know, so it's the market's changing, and these cunts just got to catch up a bit. But in the meantime,
Definitely.
it's just frustrating.
I know. And it's going to be frustrating every time we bring it up. So
Yep.
I know it's annoying. It pisses me off as much as you. I've had a lot more time to stew about it because I've been bitching about this fucking ever.
Oh, I've been
But,
bitching about
yeah,
it too. Just
let's just
to my friends, and
not. I mean, on this show.
not to my podcast chums.
Yeah. Anyway, let's talk about Fear of Rain. So
No,
this
I
one
want to rant about
stars-
things. No, it's fine. Go on.
No, you can rant about this if you didn't like it. This one stars Madison Isman as Rain. So that was interesting. Her name's Rain, so maybe it's a fear of not the thing that comes out of the sky,
No,
which I initially thought this movie was about.
I thought it was too because I remember reading a novel.
Good. Yeah.
By I think it was Richard Lehman, like called Black Rain or something like that, where like it was like a black rain, and then if it landed on you, it turned you into like a murderous psychopath.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I thought, oh, maybe it's like that kind of thing. I'm like, oh no, this isn't that.
That's what I thought because there's a show. I think it's German. It's on Netflix now. It's a TV series that's called just Rain, and kind of same or not same thing, but yeah, the rain that comes from the sky is like poisonous or acidic or something like that. I can't remember exactly, but I kind of thought that maybe this was the same type of scenario that we're fearing the actual rain and not a character. But we'll get into that in a second.
Yep.
This also stars Katherine Heigl as Michelle, who I completely forgot about.
She's having a wee bit of a comeback lately. Because she's in that
Where
that
did she go?
new Netflix series, Firefly Lane and stuff, and I think
What? I know I heard that she's really hard to work with.
yeah, I think that was the deal. I think she did Grey's Anatomy, and then she kind of just did other little things for a bit. Nothing I'd
she was
really
like-
seen.
She did Knocked Up, and and then she did like a few other romantic comedies, and you thought, oh yeah, she's going to be like the next big A-lister, and then boom, we
kinda
hear
dropped
nothing
off.
from her. I completely forgot about her, and now she's in this little movie.
Yeah. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah. Another person that I completely forgot about is Harry Connick Jr., who plays John. He's the father. We have Israel Broussard as Caleb. And last but not least, we have Eugenie Bondurant as Danny, a.k.a. the neighbor, a.k.a. Nightmare Fuel. So, the story of this one is a girl living with schizophrenia struggles with terrifying hallucinations as she begins to suspect her neighbor has kidnapped a child. The only person who believes her is Caleb, a boy she isn't even sure exists.
What?
Pretty crazy, eh?
So crazy.
Yeah. So, do you mind if I just butt in?
No,
first?
no. I remembered where Israel's from.
Where?
Happy Death Day. He's like the boy
Oh,
in it.
that's right. Yeah, I did read that. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, no, you didn't. I wanted to bring it up.
Thanks for making me remember that horrible experience.
That's okay.
Okay, so Fear of Rain. This is one of the other movies that I've heard from Mark Nato and Scott Crawford. Two
they say?
people who fucking... They didn't say much about it. They just said it's a good movie. So I decided, fuck it, I'll give it a go.
Okay.
Yeah, those two people are fucking killing it with their horror movie watches. I can't keep up, so I gave up.
That's the
I'm
spirit.
not going to... Yeah, I tried to keep up with Mark Nato. I got to like the second or third week in January. I'm like, God, how the fuck has he already watched 40 movies? I'm on 3.
You know what he's doing?
So I'm like, yeah.
He's like writing just little scripts and then he's filming it on his phone, being like, oh no, a murderer, and then he's just watching them later and then he's counting it. I think that's what he's doing.
Okay, all right.
A
He's not
scary
watching-
monster, rawr.
He's not watching short movies and counting them?
No,
Who
he's
would
not
do
being a big
that?
cheat cunt. Big, despicable dog cunt who cheats and watches
All
short
right.
movies.
So, I've switched this one on just by... I knew nothing about this movie. As I said before, I thought it was something about the actual rain that comes from the sky is what we're fearing. This one came as a surprise for me. I saw the big names in the movie, yet I haven't heard a thing about this movie.
Tim. They call the... Don't be scared of the big words. It's okay. It'll pass.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't heard a thing about this movie, man. Like, you'd think with big names, like, they'd be getting some buzz about it, but nothing.
Yeah, no buzz.
Really nothing. I know one other podcast, The Horror Returns, have reviewed this show, and that's basically it.
Yeah, like, it hasn't popped up in my feed with all you cunts, like, posting the photo of it and being like, whatever out of 10 and shit. Much. That's my news about it.
So for me, I fucking love this film. I really enjoyed it. For me, what I got out of it is basically Summer of '89 meets Rear Window meets A Beautiful Mind with a little bit of a horror twist.
Yeah.
If you are going in expecting a full blown horror film, you are going to be disappointed. This is not not a typical horror film. It's not like a Supernatural or anything like that. It's one of those horror films that deals with mental illness. So if you are sick of those types of films, this is not going to... You're probably not going to enjoy it.
No.
For me, I loved it. It has twists and turns and all and stuff like that. I'll be real, I did not see anything coming. I've heard a few people say that they figured out the twist. I didn't. I was completely surprised when the twist came.
Oh, really?
I had no idea.
Big idiot.
Yeah, I'm guessing you knew. Whatever. To me, all the characters in this movie are meaningful. Rain, the character of Rain, she's so sympathetic, and you just want to root for her the whole time.
Yeah,
I was really
I'll throw
rooting
one
for her. Yeah, I knew you'd come. The mother and father are relatable. Mm-hmm. Especially for parents of a child who's going through schizophrenia. You can see that it's taken a toll on them and their marriage, and it's very, when I say relatable, not to me, but I can see parents like this going through the same type of thing. So I really thought the performances were really well done.
Yes. With
both the parents, Katherine Heigl and
Harry Connick Jr.
Yes, that's the one. The neighbor.
Yes.
And this is something that Brian from The Horror Returns brought up, and I've got to echo exactly what he said. He said, and I quote, not sounding mean, but that neighbor...
I don't mean to be racist, but...
Well, I'm sure she's a lovely lady, but yeah, she looks like the stuff of nightmares. She looks kind of scary. And
she does have an interesting look.
I mean, no disrespect by saying that, but you are a perfect cast choice for this movie.
Yeah.
All in all, man, I really, really enjoyed this. I think right now it's sitting at my number 3 film of the year so far. I got sucked in with it. I was just eating it all up. I was going through the motions. I was just getting surprised by each simple turn and everything like that. Yeah, this one just really worked for me.
Man.
So, yeah. What about you?
Yeah, I thought it was pretty great. I had fun. I'm not one of those people who are sick of the mental health movies. I found it engaging and really good. I didn't... Look, I can't really talk because I don't have schizophrenia. I don't suffer from any psychosis. But I feel like it seemed well represented. I could be wrong.
That's my next question I was going to ask you. Is this a good representation of schizophrenia?
It seemed well represented to me, but also I just preface it with the fact that I don't suffer from it. So I don't know what it's like to have that in your brain, but the chatter seems authentic. And just not knowing, and just the coping tips of like, is this possible? Is it like all that self kind of talk she was doing in her head to kind of weed out the visions and the things not real? is like good, handy stuff to actually know. If you are suffering from that stuff, like they're questions you should ask yourself. And yeah, I was totally along for every twist. I took every red herring that they threw out there, and I was like, oh yeah, maybe it is that. I'm like, oh, it's not that. So I was totally there with you. I did not pick anything that happened. Yeah, because it's really good at setting shit up and being like, hey, it could be this, and it's like, nah, it's not that, you idiot. This was there all along. Stuff like that. I thought the characters were really... Yeah, go on.
You didn't see the twist coming?
Nah, not at all. Totally.
Oh, good. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why I was like extra harsh to you.
It's funny because like I was listening to the Horror Returns talk about this movie, and Brian and Phil both picked the twist where Lance didn't, and they were kind of giving him shit for it, going, oh, how didn't you pick it? And I'm there listening going, oh, I didn't pick it either. It fooled me, man. It got me. Like those few scenes, I just thought, I don't want to say too much, but yeah, I just thought.
Yeah. I want to spoil it too, but it's like it's going to be a recommend. But I thought the characters were pretty real. Like they talked like humans, and you could the acting was really good. Criticism wise, like maybe some of the camera angles were a bit meh, a bit too shaky, like a bit loose for me personally.
Right,
they were just
was a bit off.
Just some shots where I was like, I didn't like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, but for the most part, it was all pretty good. Yeah, and honestly, the acting was top notch. Like, Madison did an amazing job. Like, she was really good.
Yeah.
You could, like, just see the fear and, like, the distress. That's probably a better word for it. The distress, in her face and stuff. Like, it was really good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can't say too much else without spoiling it. And I liked the kind of subplot. Yeah. Just watch it.
It is one of those movies where you can't talk extensively because of spoilers. Yep. That Madison Eisman, you would probably know her from Annabelle Comes Home, or to other people most notable, she was in the Jumanji movies. She played Bethany, who I think was the Jack Black.
Yeah.
She was the hot chick.
Yeah.
So yeah,
she's not ugly.
No, but she's doing a good job, man. Like she's picking up some roles. She's doing well with her acting. I'm really enjoying seeing her in things.
I'm enjoying following her career.
Yeah, definitely. So I don't know much more of what we can say about this film. It is very light on the horror, so don't go in expecting a fucking like Hatchet movie or a slasher or something like that.
Or this is spooky ghost.
It's not one of those films. But I feel this is very real. I don't know a single person who's dealing with schizophrenia, so I can't say if this is a good representation of it. I believe it is. In my train of thought of what schizophrenia is, I think it's a good representation, but I could be wrong because I don't suffer with it. But as an entertaining movie, a sit-down watching film, I was engaged. I shed a tear a little bit in one scene. I loved the characters. I loved the interactions with all the characters. And I just thought it was a really interesting movie. This is one for me that I'll definitely return back to.
Nice.
And yeah, I said before that I believe it is my number 3. I'm just going to double check that because I want to make sure. But I believe it's right now sitting as my number 3 film for 2021. But yeah.
Cool.
Got anything more to say about that?
You got a star rating for it?
I do. Yes, okay. It is my number 3 as of right now. So the only 2 films that are beating it for me is Shadow in the Cloud, which is getting the same score as Fear of Rain, and my number 1 is still Psycho Gorman. So, but yeah, Fear of Rain for me, I'm giving it the same score as I gave Shadow in the Cloud. Shadow in the Cloud beats it just by an inch, only because it actually scared me a little bit. Fear of Rain, it's definitely a movie that I'm going to return to. I may even buy if the price is right. For me, this one is coming... I've got it at an 8 out of 10. But this is a movie that, with a rewatch, I could go up to a 9.
Well, let's see how you go.
So, at the moment, right now, I'll stick with an 8 out of 10. But yeah, possibly we could be moving into the 9 territory for this one. Definitely recommend it. So, what about you?
Yeah, I'm an 8 out of 10 too.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
nice.
Yeah, I quite liked it. I like these mental health thrillers, whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think it's too spoiled. It's not like, oh, she had psychosis all along. It's not that kind of movie. So mentioning the mental health up front isn't really spoilers. I don't think. But yeah, it was just good. It was well acted. Again, all the same caveats, but I feel it was well represented. I mean, if you do suffer from psychosis and schizophrenia and you disagree or agree and you feel like sharing, let us know. I'd be totally curious to hear about it.
Definitely, yeah.
But yeah, I thought it was great. It felt really sympathetic, the whole movie. Like,
yeah.
You really felt for the characters in this movie, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Yeah, a bit of dodgy camera stuff, bit of, maybe some shots lingered too much, and like things like that. Like just technical things for me kind of pulled me out a smidge. But yeah, 8 out of 10. Really enjoyed it. You should totally check it out when you can.
Nice. Fuck yeah. All right. So let's jump on to our next feature review. We're going to be talking about Shudder's newest film, which is called Shook. So let's listen to that trailer.
Don't! I'm shook. Janelle was a makeup legend. I'm gonna go to my sister Nicole's house to babysit her dog, Chico. Chico! Chico! Come here, buddy! You get out the house. What the hell?
We're friends now, online.
Lock all the doors. What do you want?
I need you to make a choice.
He says you have to choose. This is crazy.
Can't argue with that.
You're gonna kill me. Leave us alone. What did you do? Oh my god.
Our second feature for the night is a movie that's just dropped out of nowhere on Shudder. Actually, it wasn't out of nowhere. I knew this one was coming. But still, it's on Shudder now if you are curious to see it after you hear our thoughts. This one is called Shook. And it comes in at a 4.1 out of 10 on IMDb. So a little bit lower than Fear of Rain. Mm-hmm. It stars Daisy Tudor as Mia, Emily Gross as Nicole, Nicola Posina as Lani, and other people.
Nicola?
It's directed
sure
by...
Does.
Huh?
So it sure does. Other people.
It's directed by Jennifer Harrington, who hasn't done much, really. I'm just checking her IMDb now. Her directing efforts are a TV series called Dear. She did a movie called Housekeeping, a movie called Cargo, which is not the Australian zombie one. So she's done nothing that I'm aware of, but yeah. So, the story of Shook. According to IMDb, the plot summary is when Mia, a social media star, becomes the target of an online terror campaign, she has to solve a series of games to prevent people she cares about from getting murdered. But is it real? or is it just a game at her expense?
Ooh.
Luffy, I'm going to let you take this one first, because I want to know what you feel about it, even though I kind of guessed what you feel about it. So, let's hear it.
This is... meh. Greatly meh. Like, it was real boring. Like, most of the way through. Then there was, like, little bits where it maybe picked up, like, a little bit. Like, where I was like, oh, is...
Yeah.
And then it completely lost me again. Like, all the... Is it, isn't it, is it, isn't it, shit.
Yeah.
Confused me, but I didn't care enough to try and pay more attention. If that makes sense. And then, like, there's really not a lot to say about it, because there's not, like, fantastic kills. There's just a bunch of, like... There's so many lies and things that it's hard to keep track of what actually happened. For me, anyway.
Yeah.
Like, maybe it's because I wasn't paying attention, but that's the movie's fault for not getting my attention. I mean, the acting was fine. Wasn't bad. The directing and all the shots, they certainly pointed the cameras at where things were happening. Is definitely what happened. That's about it. And they also really loved fucking projectors. They're like, let's do another projector shot. Let's bring the projector for this one. Everyone does that, popping up the social media with the After Effects thing. Let's get a projector out. Hey, we spent $350 on this thing. Let's really get our money's worth in this shoot. And then just, I don't know, man. And then the big message at the end, I was like, yeah, I guess. Like, it's not really a revelation, this movie, put it that way, you know?
No.
Like, if I can spoil the whole idea, is that okay?
Yeah, I guess.
Social media bad.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it just in that kind of, like, it's like, social media is bad. You people are fake on it and stuff. It's like, yeah. And? Well, that's bad. I'm like, yeah, not great, but anything else to say? No. It makes people mad about it. I'm like, okay. Alright, movie. Sit down. Just go sit over there. Sit down. Stop. Sit down. Okay, good.
So, do you dislike this movie, or you just don't care about it?
I couldn't.
One of those throwaway.
I couldn't care less. Like, it was
safe to say.
It was fine. Yeah. It was fine. What do you think? I really don't have much to say about it, because, like, I could spoil it, but who cares?
Some people might care. People who haven't seen it yet.
Oh, okay. If you want to see this movie, don't worry about it. There's so many other good movies to watch.
Well, you haven't heard my thoughts yet.
Oh, okay. Well, Tim's wrong if he thinks different, but go on.
Says the man who gave Psycho Gorman like a 4 out of 10.
No, I didn't.
So
I gave it a strong 7.
Oh, you did too. Still, that's too low. Anyway. So I went into this movie shook. I'm completely blind. I didn't watch a trailer. I didn't read any reviews. I didn't read a plot summary or anything like that. So I had no idea really what this movie was about. And when it first starts, we're treated to 3 different women, and we get kind of the gist of who our protagonist is. And from the start of the movie, I wasn't a fan of her at all. I was like, okay. Besides her look, she's fucking stunning. I'll give her that.
She's
very, very
a
attractive.
cutie patootie.
Yeah, but beyond that, the character itself, I just didn't care. Eventually, as the movie progressed, I found myself enjoying this movie a little bit more, and the characters a little bit more. What I got out of this movie, very reminiscent of 90s horror. Obviously, we have like the main red herring, which is Scream. But underneath that, I got feelers for like urban legend and just a real 90s horror feel. And I can't really pinpoint on what is what with the 90s horror, but I don't know, just the tone and everything like that made me think of films like Scream and Urban Legend. So I did enjoy that. It was kind of like a throwback, but to a different decade we don't usually see as much. Overall, I didn't mind this movie. I think I am definitely in the minority here because I searched up Letterboxd, I searched up IMDb and looked at other people's reviews, and a lot of people aren't as kind as I am with this film. More people are in the camp of you, Luffy.
Yeah.
Even to the extent of people saying this is utter rubbish. So I am a lot more positive than those people. This movie entertained me. Is the story original? No, not at all. Does the film have problems? Yes, it does. It has a few problems. Is this the best 2020 film so far? No. Mm-mm. But for what it is, it kept me entertained. I was intrigued with what was happening. I was keen to see where the movie was going to go, where it was going to take us, what was going to be the end result, the resolve. And when we find out the resolve, it didn't blow me away like Fear of Rain did, but I wasn't mad at it.
I was annoyed at it.
Oh, really?
I was like, really? That's your big fucking reveal? Okay, movie.
I get it.
You know the bit.
If I'm being honest and serious here, this is not a movie I'll probably ever return to. Am I glad I watched it? Yeah. It kept my attention, which is a lot more than many other films have done.
Here's a question, though. Would you watch Shook 2?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay,
yeah, I'd watch another Shook. Really? Like, well, I'd make you, so.
Oh, yeah, I mean, if I don't have a fucking choice in it, then yeah, I'd watch Shook 2 Electric Boogaloo. But,
it's kind of
Shooketh.
It's kind of a tough... Shooketh. It's kind of a tough question because, like, I have to see, like, all the main horrors that come out. Yeah. But if I had a choice...
Yeah, like, if you were, a regular ass member of the viewing ass public.
Yes, I would.
Okay.
I'd check it out. I enjoyed this enough. I enjoyed it more than what I didn't.
Okay.
To go back and rewatch it. You know? I'll probably never, ever rewatch it again. Now that we're doing this review, I don't think I need to. And I think there's better films out there that I'd rather rewatch. Mm-hmm. But still, I didn't think it was horrible.
Okay.
So
I can take you on a star journey through the movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it started off where all movies start off with 5 stars. Because
10, you mean? Or?
Yeah. I'm a fan man. It exists.
Yep.
So it can either gains points or loses points from that point. Yep. You know. So then all the fake stuff started happening at the start. Also, there was a thing that happened at the start that I want to talk about in between because it confuses me now that I think about it.
Does it involve a high heel?
It does.
Yeah.
So
I was thinking about it too. I don't understand.
Yeah. I'm like, okay. But like you said, more good than bad for you. So that can go in the bad column. But I was like, okay, maybe this is, I was sitting around a 5, maybe could, go somewhere. And then it was like doing all the influencer things and then it started doing all the pop-up stuff and it started going down to like a 3.
Mm. Wow.
And then I was like, when they started playing like the games and stuff, I was like, games are fun. I like games. So I went back up to a 5. And then like at that kind of halfway point, with kind of the mid-season reveal, let's say, it went back down again. And then it started to get up there again. And then it went back down to a 4. Like, yeah. I was like, oh, is it going to stick the landing? No. It actually probably went down to a 3, but she is hot, so let's give it a 4. I'm going with a 4.
Okay.
4 out of 10.
It's not as bad as I thought.
Like I said, I didn't hate it. It's just not great. It's not great.
Yeah.
That's all. Like, if it just need a little bit more, maybe like a cool kill or something.
Mm-hmm.
Would have maybe got it up there, but yeah, there wasn't much for me to enjoy in the movie.
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah. So yeah, 4 out of 10. What'd you give it, homeboy?
For me, I obviously come in a little bit higher. I didn't hate it at all, but I do agree with what you said. I think that this is kind of a forgettable film in a year where I can see this year being strong. I think by the end of the year, this is a movie that we'll probably forgotten about. The only reason I think we remember it is because it's on Shudder. We might see it when we're scanning Shudder.
Yeah.
Overall, I didn't hate it. I liked it more than I did. I was entertained by it. So for me, it's an above average film. I'm giving it a 6 out of 10.
That's fair. I'll tolerate a 6.
Yeah. Is it the worst of the films that we'll be reviewing tonight? We'll have to wait and see in a second.
Mm-hmm.
So, with that being said, let's jump into our final review of The Reckoning, and we'll be back after
I
this.
spit on your grave, 1886.
The sickness hangs over the city like putrid fog. Bodies are piled high in the narrow streets. It's as if the day of judgment has finally arrived. Bernhard.
I'll give you some advice. Leave town while you can. I saw her the other day. She was acting bloody peculiar.
There's only one thing that can explain it. She made a pact with the devil.
Nowhere to run, witch!
What's to happen to me? They'll try to break you. Like they did to the rest of us.
Fear not, my child. Salvation is at hand. There's something wicked at work in that place. She has the devil inside her. My will is greater than yours.
We'll see.
Confess!
Nobody's safe.
We are talking about our last film for the night, and that one is from Neil Marshall, and this is The Reckoning. If you don't know the name Neil Marshall, he is a director who's directed such things as Dog Soldiers. He's done various episodes of Game of Thrones, but he is also the director of The Descent, which is, in a lot of people's opinion, one of the best horror films to come out of the 2000s. And I'll probably agree with that.
It's a goodie.
Yeah.
That movie,
so this one,
like, scared the fuck out of me before the things even appeared.
why? Because, like, it was...
the climbing in the caves and all that stuff. Yeah, all that bit scared the fuck out of me before more things even happened. I don't want to spoil it if you haven't seen The Descent. Oh, he did Lost in Space, the Netflix series too. He was an EP.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Okay, so this one has a runtime of 1 hour and 50 minutes. Sorry for telling you it was a shorter runtime. I didn't know.
Yep.
It has a score of 4.6 out of 10 on IMDb with only 826 reviews. This one, before we continue, I just realised that it premieres on April 7th in Australia. So it's not yet released in Australia, but if you are in the US, you can check this out.
Shaking my fist at you.
I'm just gonna stop saying that. It stars Charlotte Kirk as Grace Haverstock, Sean Pertwee as John Moorcroft, Stephen Waddington as Squire Pendleton, Joe Anderson as Joseph Haverstock, who's the husband.
Yep.
It features more people, but I can't really find them right now. Other people. There's no really big names in this movie. I didn't pick anything. But yeah.
I'd say it's Sean Pertwee, I like. Yeah, he's in a bunch of cool stuff. He's in like Equilibrium and Event Horizon and stuff.
Oh, okay, cool. Directed and written by Neil Marshall, as we just said. So this one was one of the big heavy hitters when we did our first episode of the year, which was the most anticipated films of 2021. And we spoke about this. We watched the trailer. And I think you and me were both interested. I don't think this is a movie that really perked our ears up, but we were both interested to see where it was going to go.
I think I was in because of the plague masks.
Okay. I think I was more on the fence, like, yeah, I'll watch it, but I'm not really... It's not one of my favourites coming out. Now that we've got a chance to see it, what are your thoughts?
Me? Little old me?
Yeah. Tell us.
Yeah, I enjoyed this one. I thought it was fun. In like a, it's hectic and... Yeah.
I forgot to tell you what the story's about. Give me a second. The plot summary of The Reckoning is Evelyn, a young widow haunted by the recent suicide of her husband Joseph, is falsely accused of being a witch by her landlord after she rejects his advances. Sorry, Liffy, you can continue. You like this movie.
That's okay. I did. And yeah, I mean, it is about the witch burnings and the witch hunts and all that kind of stuff. So that's your kind of general theme. Just dudes again being massive penises to chicks for no reason. It's kind of the story here, which isn't untrue. So yeah, it's like I said, it's basically like a ye oldie I spit on your grave sort of thing.
Kind of,
not in the sense of like plot, fucking piece by piece, but it's a revenge movie. Like when you break it down into its most basic form. And I don't normally really like period pieces that much. Like I'm not a huge fan of ye oldie stuff, but this was fine. This was great. Didn't mind it at all.
Is it because you can understand what they're saying?
Yeah, I think so. I think they just talk normal, like humans. There weren't any goat cunts in it.
Which is a masterpiece.
Okay. But yeah, I thought it was cool. Had some fucking sick kills in it.
Yeah.
It was like just gory enough. They didn't go too overboard. I was just like, I felt really bad for the main chick the whole time. I was just like, can't this bitch get a break? There's not much to say about it without spoiling it, but yeah, it was like nicely shot, easy to follow story, some cool kind of fantastical elements that are not so fantastical, if that makes sense, without spoiling it.
Yeah.
And yeah, just kind of a whole big movie about like the witch hunts and the atrocities that they used to do to actual real life women Just because they were like, well, she's a witch. And it's like, yeah, what's the evidence? Because I'm a man and I say so.
Yeah.
Like, that's pretty much all you gotta do. Yeah. Most everyone's awful in this movie. There's a couple of good eggs, but most everyone's pretty awful.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. But I thought it was good. I enjoyed it.
Nice.
I think 4.6 is harsh to, kind of spoil my score.
Well,
I think it deserves to be more than that.
This is another movie that's getting a lot of bad reviews, and I'll explain my thoughts in a second. But going into this, I only watched the trailer once for this movie. I went in not really keen on it. Like, I watched it because it's a new horror movie. Realistically, that's the only reason I watched it, and I kind of went in expecting like an A24 type of movie where it's very slow and artsy, very kind of like The Witch. I was expecting that type of film, and this
like
is
weird
not
shots,
exactly
things on the
what I
roof and
got.
stuff.
Yeah, what? Say it again.
I say like weird shots and like all angles and like shit crawling on the roof and crap like that. Yeah. And the trailer lets you to believe that this movie is a lot more supernatural than this movie actually is. So I kind of expected, a lot more witchy stuff. What we got was something very different. Like, the tone in this movie is very different than what I expected. It's a lighter tone than I expected. I think that's maybe what people are mad about. I think they kind of wanted like another witch movie, and they didn't get that. They got something that's kind of the complete opposite of The Witch. They wanted a more serious tone of film, and I think that this movie doesn't give anything like that. But it's pretty serious. It's very straightforward.
In comparison to The Witch?
I think...
it's a lot
it's
more...
It's a very serious topic, but there's a lot more action. Put it that way. How's that?
There's a lot more action. I don't know. It feels like a tongue-in-cheek kind of movie, but I know it's not. It's hard to describe.
Oh, yeah. I don't get what you mean at all, but yeah.
Yeah, I know. I'm probably speaking out of my ass. I just thought that the tone was much more lighter than what I expected. In saying that, I really enjoyed this movie. I really did, and maybe because I was not expecting what it gave us. It's a good, in my opinion, it's a good representation of what it was like for people back in those days. And this is kind of what I've been wanting for a while. I've wanted a witch trial film that features women being accused of being a witch when they actually aren't. Because we've all heard the stories of if she doesn't float, that story and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So this is kind of what I've been asking for a while. So it scratched that itch.
Yeah.
Speaking about the actual movie, like, let's break it through. Let's talk about it technically wise. The score of the movie, at first, I wasn't on board with it. I thought it was strange, it was out of place, it was weird, but I learned to fall in love with it, and I really, really enjoyed it at the end. The set designs, they're great, they're big, they're gothic, and I fucking loved it. They did really good job with they did a really good job of building the sets in it. The characters in this movie, they're all well written for me. To the point of you hate who you're meant to hate, and you're rooting for the people that you're meant to root for. You're going for the good eggs, as you so put it. But there is I agree, there is a lot of disgusting characters in this movie. Characters that you hate and you don't want to talk about. The story itself, now hear me out, right? The story is kind of relatable to today's standards. You have this...
Go on.
I can't remember what's it called? The plague that was in the movie. Anyway, they had a plague that was
the Black
in
Plague,
movie. That
like
was,
the fucking
that's it, the Black
actual
Plague.
Black Plague that was back then.
Yeah. Couldn't think of the name. So they had the Black Plague, which is wiping out people. And I'm kind of going for a stretch, so hear me out. But the Black Plague is obviously similar to COVID. Not as bad.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying. And then you have the other storyline where it's like the witches. Everyone's being accused of witches, which is kind of like today with social media. Everyone gets offended and people are getting accused of different things and shit like that. You know, I'm stretching here, but I thought like, yeah, it's kind of similar. I don't know.
Ish.
You don't agree with me? Yeah, you don't agree with me.
No, it's not that I don't agree with you. It's just that maybe. No. Yeah. Look, I see what you're saying. I can see the similarities there. I felt there was just a stronger connection to, that kind of the word of a man is still, I'd say, in a lot of circles, not everyone, but like, it's still more powerful and effective than that of a woman. And we still see that. It's not as extreme now as it was back then, but it's still that same kind of shit. And like, women are still having to go through that same kind of fucking garbage. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I felt more of that now, like relating from this to now and that kind of shit.
Yeah, okay. I can see. Yeah, I can see that as well.
And also just totally, witch hunts are bad. Don't fucking do them. But yeah, I get what you're saying as well, Tim. Like, just making up shit about someone and then just like fucking going after him with everything you got.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when you don't know.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like, yeah.
I don't know.
So
I am stretching here, but yeah, it's somewhat similar.
I agree with you to a degree.
Be more towards this movie, though. This movie actually featured a lot more grotesque and gore scenes than what I was expecting. There is one scene that I was like, holy shit, that I did not expect that to happen. That was cool.
Did it involve a wagon?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. I thought that was great. It was really cool. And obviously because this the Black Plague, there is a lot of grotesque blister popping scenes and stuff like that, which I thought was great.
Yeah.
Going into the stuff that I wasn't really keen on, I wasn't really following. There is scenes. I don't know what really is happening, but there are scenes involving a devil, which I wasn't following. I didn't understand what was happening. I kind of got a gist of what was happening, but I didn't like it. You know, it kind of. Yep.
I just took that, or I don't know if it's spoilery, but it's my take on it, so it's not specifically spoilers. Yeah. I just took that as she wasn't allowed to sleep, so she was sleep deprived and hallucinating. And like, I guess back then, that would be a fair hallucination, because that's what she's terrified of, is like all the things that they're saying about her are true. So they're manifesting in this kind of Satan.
That's a good point. Yeah.
That's what I took
like
the hallucination scenes at. And she's grieving. She's all that kind of thing. You know, I don't want to say why, but like, you know, so she's going through grief. So she misses person, and she's also sleep deprived. So she's got like that fucking horny, guilty fucking thing going on, and that's appearing in like weird hallucinations, right? Yeah.
No, you make complete sense. I like that. I'm gonna go with that.
Yeah. Okay.
I was gonna make this point saying that like with that scene, I think this movie suffers from a little bit of identity crisis. But now that you've spoken about
I love
that,
Satan.
that kind of
Don't
makes
take
a
any
lot of
marks
sense.
away for Satan.
In saying that, the look of Satan or demon, whatever it is, it looks phenomenal.
Whatever.
I think it looks great. All in all, man, I'm on the higher end of this movie. I really enjoy it. I don't really get why people are giving this bad reviews.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you, man.
Nice.
Shall we score?
So, yeah. Do you want to go first, or you want me to go first?
Sure, I'll go first.
Okay.
Yeah, like looking on IMDb, I'm definitely on the higher end. I'm giving this bad boy a 7.
Nice.
It's my like pretty dang good movie score. I wouldn't be unhappy to watch this again. I quite like this movie.
For me, I'm coming a little bit higher than you, just a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoyed it. I do not get the hate for this movie, and this is a movie that I'm getting the same score with Scott Crawford from the Friday Night Most podcast, which has been happening a lot this year. It's
shocking,
strange. But yeah, I'm giving it a 8 out of 10 for The Reckoning. I really had a fun time watching this movie. I did have questions, but they kind of are spoilery, so I can't really ask them now. But yeah, overall, I thought performances-wise, they were great. The Witchfinder General
that too.
was fucking, it was really cool. There are some scenes that were uncomfortable to watch. But yeah, overall,
probably
I think
uncomfortable
it was a really good movie.
experience.
Yeah, fuck yeah. But yeah, I had just a really good time watching this. And there's things that happen in the movie, like for example, the main girl, I can't remember her name, like she's going
Grace.
through all this stuff and every day her makeup looks fucking spot on. But I can get past that. I don't care about that. Yeah. Good movie, enjoyable movie. Will it make my top 10 of the year?
Maybe.
Possibly. Maybe. It is in my top 10 right now, but I mean, the year is young, so who knows? I kind of hope it. I hope it doesn't. I kind of want a year of 10 out of 10s, but that won't ever happen.
Well, it's in my top 10, but I only have 10 movies, so I don't know if that counts.
Yeah. Oh, well. Well, that wraps up this episode of Raw. We did it. Our first triple threat match.
Fuck yeah.
One day we'll do like a Royal Rumble where we review 31 movies. 30 movies.
Or Halloween episode.
That's not a bad idea, actually, the Royal Rumble episode.
What am I fucking doing to myself? Why? I hate you, mouth. Shut the fuck up. God, you're the worst. That's just one episode too, so it's like 31 movies plus whatever else we fucking do for the rest of the month.
Don't worry, I can do it by myself.
I'll do it.
So that concludes this week's episode of Raw. We hope you enjoyed it. If you do enjoy the show, go over and give us a 5-star review. That really helps us and bumps us up in the rankings. We have our normal show, Horror for Dummies, which is coming back this week. We are doing the entire Anaconda franchise, which includes Anaconda versus Lake Placid. I'm so keen yet not keen to see that movie.
I just hope it's not boring.
I don't think it will be. I think it will be CGI shit feast.
Yes.
And we also have, if you want a little stop from horror and you want to listen to me talk about Star Wars, go check out our episodes of Kaboom, Pop Culture for Podcasts, where we speak about other films that aren't horror. So, yeah, and join our Facebook page, join our Instagram page, join our letterbox, or under Horror for Dummies, and you can join our Facebook group, which is Horror for Dummies Super Friends. Come join the Super Friends.
Yeah, and do us a favor.
Do it now.
Have a good one.
We also might be having some new things happen in the future, but I'll wait to talk about those until they're finalized. Maybe Patreon, maybe YouTube, but we'll see.
Maybe.
Beyond that, that's all from me. You got anything else to add, Mr. Lufenstein?
I'm going to sprinkle some salt on there. Always just makes things taste better. Just some seasoning. That's it.
Okay.
A little salt. Just a sprinkle.
They call you the doctor for a reason. Anyway, all right, that's it from me.
Put salt on
we'll catch
shit?
you next time, guys.
It's like a weird reason to call me that.
Yes, you're the doctor of salt.
Salt doctor.
Goodbye.
Long as I remember, the rain been coming down, clouds of mystery pouring, confusion on the ground. Good men through the ages, trying to find the sun, and I wonder, still I wonder, who'll stop the rain? Well, I went down Virginia, seeking shelter from the storm. Caught up in the fable, I watched the tower grow. 5-year plans and new deals, wrapped in golden chains. And I wonder, still I wonder, who'll stop the rain? Heard the singers playing, how we cheered for more.